America is once again at the center of an intense political debate, and today that debate focuses on immigration and border security. This issue has dominated headlines, campaign speeches, and everyday conversations across the country because it touches on national security, the economy, human rights, and the identity of the United States itself. For decades, immigration has been a defining political issue, but in recent years it has reached a new level of urgency. Millions of migrants have attempted to cross the southern border, overwhelming border facilities, local governments, and asylum systems. Supporters of stricter border enforcement argue that the current situation is unsustainable and threatens public safety, wages, and national sovereignty. On the other hand, advocates for immigration reform emphasize America's history as a nation of immigrants and argue that many migrants are fleeing violence, poverty, and political instability. The heart of today's debate is the question of control versus compassion. Many Americans believe the federal government has failed to enforce existing immigration laws. They point to overcrowded border towns, stretched resources, and rising frustration among local communities. Governors from border states have demanded stronger federal action, increased funding for border security, and faster deportation processes for those who do not qualify for asylum. Meanwhile, critics of hardline border policies argue that enforcement alone cannot solve the problem. They say the asylum system is outdated and overwhelmed, forcing migrants to wait years for decisions while living in legal limbo. Human rights organizations warn that aggressive enforcement policies can lead to family separations, unsafe detention conditions, and violations of international law. Congress remains deeply divided. Some lawmakers are pushing for comprehensive immigration reform that includes stronger border security, faster asylum processing, and a pathway to legal status for undocumented immigrants who have lived in the U.S. for years. Others reject any proposal that includes legalization, calling it amnesty, and arguing it would encourage even more illegal immigration. The political stakes are enormous. Immigration is a top issue for voters, especially as the country heads toward another election cycle. Candidates on both sides are using the issue to energize their bases. Conservatives frame border security as a matter of law, order, and national survival. Progressives frame immigration as a moral issue and an economic opportunity, pointing out that immigrants contribute billions of dollars to the economy and fill critical labor shortages. The debate is also shaping America's relationship with other countries. The U.S. has pressured neighboring nations to help slow migration, while also negotiating agreements to return asylum seekers. Critics argue that these deals push responsibility onto poorer countries, while supporters say international cooperation is essential to managing migration flows. For everyday Americans, the immigration debate is not abstract. It affects housing, schools, healthcare systems, and local budgets. Communities across the country are struggling to absorb new arrivals, even as businesses depend on immigrant labor to survive. This tension fuels frustration and polarization, making compromise even harder. Ultimately, the immigration debate reflects a deeper question about what kind of country America wants to be. Should the focus be on strict enforcement and closed borders, or on reforming a broken system while maintaining humanitarian values? Can the U.S. do both at the same time, or is the political divide too deep to overcome? As lawmakers continue to argue and policies shift, one thing is clear. Immigration will remain a defining political issue in the United States, shaping elections, public trust, and America's role in the world for years to come.